All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the African Mavericks podcast. I'm your host, Ebuka Wana. I want to start by first of all saying this. To those of you watching who have felt like you waited too long to get some value from us, here's me offering my deepest and sincerest apologies. Going forward, I assure you guys that we're not going to keep you guys waiting so long before you get some value from us. So that said, on today's episode, we're coming with a banger. I had the privilege of chatting with Nelly Essien. Nelly is the founder of a global marketing agency called 24 Pages Marketing Agency. What I really loved about Nelly's story is that she went from chasing other people's expectations, particularly her mom, who wanted her to become a doctor, to building a marketing agency that's serving global clients, all from her bedroom with just her cell phone and the belief in her idea to tell stories while helping businesses grow. So in our conversation, we dove into what it takes to break free from family expectations, the mindset it takes to stay true to your vision, and how taking things slowly can help you stay grounded as you uncover your purpose. So to you listening, if you've ever felt stuck between, or you've ever felt torn between following the script that you were handed and living the life that you truly want to live that aligns with your vision and desires, then this is a conversation you want to stick around for. Without much further ado, let's dive right in. All right, Nelly, thank you so much for agreeing to have this conversation with me on the African Mavericks podcast. How I usually like to start this, is for us to take 3 deep breaths to center ourselves. Are you familiar with mindfulness practices?
No.
Okay, so basically it's, Nigeria has a lot of external factors that stress us, right? So mindfulness is basically mindfulness practices are things you do to center yourself and bring yourself to the present moment so that you're not stressed out by things externally, right?
Okay.
So one of the ways is through breath work. So if you would indulge me, just where you are, just take 3 deep breaths. And as you do that, just set an intention for how you want this conversation to go. With that?
Okay.
All right. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready. All right. How are you feeling now? You need to be centered, I hope.
I'm okay.
Awesome. So how I'd like to start this is by asking you to share a quick story of your background and maybe some pivotal moments that led you to what you're doing today.
Okay, so it's actually an interesting story. What led me to start this journey? Let me start from my passion. I've always wanted to be creative. I've always loved being a creative. What I actually desired, though, is to be a filmmaker, a storyteller. I may put it that way. So I started, writing stories as a child, and I was, in different competitions for storytelling, acting, and all that. But unfortunately, my mom wanted me to be a medical doctor. So I tried to be a medical doctor. It didn't work. I couldn't get admission to study medicine and all that, and then found myself in physics department. While on that journey, I was still pushing the creative aspect of me. I was, associating with those in the creative sector in the different departments and all that. So that's like a long story. So fast forward to graduating and moving to Lagos. I wanted to just pursue my passion for creativity, especially in film. But it wasn't as easy as I imagined. So I found myself in the marketing field by chance. I felt I needed to survive and all that. And then I realized that I can bring that creativity passion into marketing. So I started learning under different people. I got mentors, and next thing I started getting better at what I do. Then I got an opportunity to study business models and all that with British Council and Henley Business School. Immediately after that, I started my own company, 24 Pages Marketing Agency, and since then it's been evolving. It's been a series of learning and unlearning, and it's been a great journey so far, although with its ups and downs.
Interesting. From
Yeah.
storytelling to medicine to back to storytelling.
Exactly.
You had mentioned mentors there. Could you speak on that? Like, who have been your major influences or mentors in your journey, like entire journey, not just the marketing aspect of it?
Okay, so for mentors, IZ of ZD Africa, founder of ZD Africa, has been my mentor. She's been such an inspiration to me. Caroline Wabar of Web Digits is also a mentor of mine. So I learned a lot. They are the ones that made me see that it's possible to actually run a marketing business and be successful at it. So yeah.
About earlier, like the storytelling aspect of you. I mean, what inspired that as a child?
Yeah, storytelling. So I don't know. As a child, I don't think I had mentors as a child. I just wanted to write stories. But in my early teenage years, I loved Chimamanda. So she was like, I wanted to be like Chimamanda. By the way, I'm also working on a book to publish, storytelling, fiction. Like, life just has a way of bringing us back to what we love to do. So Chimamanda was someone that I really admired. She's a great storyteller.
Interesting. So let me ask, you had mentioned how like so far it's been a series of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Can you share with me like one of the biggest lessons you've learned on your journey so far?
So one of the biggest lessons I've learned is taking things slow. When I was much younger, I was like, I just wanted to do everything at once. I just wanted to blow. I just wanted to hammer quickly. Nigerian terms of getting rich quick and getting famous quick and all that, and it was overwhelming. And for all the disappointments I faced, it made me really depressed. But as I evolved, as I grew, I realized that you have to take things slow. You have to take it one at a time. That definitely you can pursue that thing you love, and it can give your life a meaning, but you just have to take it one at a time. And also be patient to learn. My kind of person, I love to learn a lot. As much as I'm a sucker for reading books, I sleep on the internet learning new things. Like when it comes to marketing, I want to learn new models, I want to check out the trends. I want to see how I can integrate it. Like, I love to research. You have to be open to learning new things. You have to be in touch with like new trends, like how like what's on board, what's the new updates that you can use to actually better businesses. For me, that's one thing I've really learned. So you just have to be patient with the process. Even when it comes to running my marketing agency, we're 5 years this year, and we're not where we ought to be, but we're growing. We've really evolved, and I'm also taking it slow because I know for some people that would have said, "Oh, 5 years, you're supposed to be like very big. You're supposed to be doing multinationals, multimillionaire," and I'm like, "No, it's one step at a time. That time would come, so you have to just take things slowly. And while you're taking things slowly, learn learn all you can to add more value to the businesses or people around you."
That's beautiful. First of all, congratulations on making it to 5 years. I'm sure you're aware of this, but the stats that 90 something percent of businesses don't get to 5 years. So
It
you guys
does.
have gone over that hump.
It does.
Congratulations on that.
And funny enough, you see, the company I started this company in my room with just my mobile phone, and I remember the first client I had was, this is the way you just package yourself. It's something that's, but you're in your room, you're using your mobile phone. I think I didn't even have a laptop then. Like my laptop crashed or something, but I was still able to push. I was growing it gradually, until the point where it is now that can be able to hire staff, pay people, and all that. So it's been an interesting journey. Although there were times where I got so overwhelmed, discouraged, and it was like, let me just close shop and go and look for another thing to do. But I'm so happy that I just kept moving. I didn't give up.
Commendable. Starting with your phone. That is really commendable. Um, Let me ask, so what are some of the challenges you've faced, significant challenges you've faced in the journey, and how did you go about overcoming them?
So, for challenges, are you talking about in business or in my life in general?
Whichever one you're okay with talking about, but I think in the life general aspect of it would be more would I say.
Oh, so I want to start by saying being a Nigerian can be very challenging because the economy doesn't help us to grow as much as we would. There's just lots of limitations. Most of us are quite creative, but we just have to keep pushing and pushing, and it's not been easy. So that's been one of the challenges, and this affects every aspect of life, like finances, running the home and all that. So it's that's why you see the jackpot trend is everywhere. Like people just want to have a better life, but um yes, they want better opportunities and all that. But I've never been the jackpot person per se, because I want to see how much I can build in Nigeria and then expand. As at late last year, we already registered another branch of our business in Rwanda. So okay, let's see how we can expand and give it next 5 years. When the company is 10 years old, we should be able to say, we're a big media house now, because that's the dream. So the challenges have just been, the economy, the rise in dollar, even running ad campaigns for clients it's a whole lot, because by the time you do the conversion rate, you're like, So it's been challenging, and it affects everything. You just go to the market and price of goods just keep increasing. It affects everything. So to me, that's a huge challenge.
How do you address those or approach those challenges? What is your MO for doing that?
approach the challenges.
Mindset you use you go about approaching those challenges.
So I really do not like to spend time on the negative. I just look for the positive out of it and just move on.
Okay.
I just know the future is bright. That's all. So I'd rather dwell on the positive. I'd rather dwell on the fact that I'm actually growing, and let's keep growing.
Okay.
So
That's a
and
good
also
mindset.
business
Okay.
as well. I try to see how I can enter the client's shoes. See that this thing is affecting all of us. So how can we help each other that we're not choked? So it's the mindset is everything, because if you spend your time dwelling on the negatives, it will affect the productivity, it will affect every other aspect of your life. So what's the point?
Thank you for highlighting that, because I think that's the appropriate mindset to go about certain things. Dwelling on the negatives never really does anything for anybody. But
Yeah,
understanding that that's the reality, but still choosing to look for the positive in it is
yeah,
what really helps people move forward.
yeah.
So let's I don't know if I told you this, but the purpose of this platform basically is to promote independent thinking and purposeful living amongst young Africans, right? We're trying to use stories of people that are doing just that to inspire whoever comes across the content to, think for themselves in regards to what their call in life is. Like for you just shared how Mopsy told you have to study medicine, become a doctor, and you tried to go down that route, but life led you to what you actually had passion and interest in. So it's stories
Yeah.
like that we want to put out into the world. So on that premise, what would you say? How would you describe thinking independently to maybe a younger one or your son?
Okay, so for thinking independently, first of all, I have to say that our African culture and African parents have a way of making us not think independently. It affects us even in old age, because it's like we need to depend on them for anything we do, and it's not just even our parents, even religion. We are not meant to question certain things. Like if you do, it's like you're a sinner, or like thunder or fire. You just depend on your religious leaders and just keep so. So, but thinking independently is something that can actually help a lot of Africans break out from their cocoon, because it's like we're living under the shadows of those that have set the rules for the society, that this is how things should be. So same thing with, like, I'm happy with the fact that most parents of this generation are awakening to the fact that no, we need to think for ourselves too, and we need to also encourage our children to also think for themselves. So when you see a child like talking about something, you don't just reprimand that child and say, no, why are you talking like this, why are you thinking this way? But the child is trying to process his own thoughts. So we need to like create a society where people think independently, and in that thought process, you also like listen to other people's thoughts as well, not judge, not be judgmental, because our society is filled with judgment. Get Not be judgmental. That try to understand where each person is coming from, and try to also see that everybody's on their journey. So as much as we learn from people, we learn from circumstances, we learn from everything around us, we need to also be in tune with our own consciousness about things, about life, and just be us, so that we're not having like a thought process that is being controlled by the society. If society is saying this is red, we should be able to question, why is this red, or I can see black. You get? So, and I know that a lot of is it millennials or the ones before millennials are also fighting it, that no, we should call the spade a spade. What is bad is bad, what is good is good. But no, we're having a generation of people that are thinking independently and want to be able to say no. Let us question things. Why are things this way? Why can't things be this way and all that? So it's very important, and it's something that we need to also integrate into our children's mindsets, that they can think independently. Yes, we are there to like guide them, that this is how things are, but I would like to also see your thought process around these things, and it's important. It helps us to also grow in our subconsciousness as well.
Love that answer and or how you explained it. Um, some things I'd like to highlight from it is the fact that you, first of all, you should be open to the information and data you're getting, right?
Yes,
And not
yes,
judge, not be quick to judge it. Take it
yes,
all in first, then weigh that with your own independent, would I say, the word you used was consciousness. Weigh that
yes,
with your own consciousness and see what you come out with, in the end, that is true to you at the end of the day. I also like the fact that you had you brought up the parents and religion aspect of things, because in my personal opinion, that's one of the biggest obstacle to us thinking for ourselves and actually making progress as a society. We are all trying
yeah,
to, follow what, like you said, the rules the rulers have set and not questioning
exactly.
it.
We're not. They're like, and let me, according to the Nigerian slang, they know bonus well to ask anything. Yep.
Meanwhile, I don't want to get religious here, speak on religion, but the Jesus that we are all serving, right? Question authority. One of the biggest things he did was he
Was
questioned.
questioned. Yes. That was why he was hated by the Pharisees.
Exactly.
And it's so funny that even our churches these days, they're acting like the Pharisees. You cannot ask questions. Like you see a passage in the Bible and it's not making any sense. And like, you say, God is destroying generation. Why? What did they do? Why are innocent people suffering? Like, or the whole Adam and Eve, this thing, how were the boys able to reproduce with other women? So you cannot even answer these questions. And like, when you get to heaven, you ask God, just take what you get to.
They're using that heaven to hold us for work.
And this thing plays out even in our leadership in the country. Our leaders or rulers, like, this is what it is. Take it. You cannot question our rulership. It's like this. Same thing with certain companies you work for. The leaders are bent on having it their way. You cannot question their decisions. So it's a bad thing.
I couldn't agree more. Well, how about purpose? Like, how would you describe living purposefully? And would you say you're living a life of purpose?
I think I'm still trying to uncover that. I'm still trying to
I love
uncover
that
that
word,
because,
uncover.
yeah, because I don't think I'm where I want to be. Like, I'm not even talking about earning or anything, but there's a phase you get to your life and you find this fulfillment, that this is where I ought to be. This is what I should be doing. So I think I'm still uncovering that. I'm not there yet. Yes.
Thanks
So
for the
I'm
honesty
curious
and
when will
vulnerability.
yeah. Yeah, but I hear some people say, I finally synced into my purpose. Like, this is what I want to be doing. I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay, me, I'm still trying to uncover. Like, let me just keep moving and see. Let me just see. So I want to watch how it unfolds.
But what would you now say? What would you say purpose is like when it eventually unfolds? How would you describe living purposefully?
Yeah, so there's a certain fulfillment, there's a certain peace. There's like your subconscious is attuned with what you're doing, that this is what you're meant to be doing. Get um the effect or the value it has on other people's lives around you. So I think when I get to that point, I've not gotten to that point because as much as I'm really, really good with marketing and I'm helping brands grow and achieve their marketing and business goals, it's not fulfilling to me. It's not fulfilling to me. Yes. So that's why I'm saying I want to see how this unfolds. Because for some people, when it comes to purpose, it's later in life they now settle into what makes them okay, feel at peace, makes them feel fulfilled and all that. So that's what I'm saying. I'm taking it slow. I'm watching how it unfolds.
Maybe that's why you're writing the book on the side.
Writing has always been something that I've been doing right from childhood. So if I was just writing and I had made it a career and everything, I'd have feel more fulfilled. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to see how it unfolds.
I like that. I like the honesty and the vulnerability there. Some people are in denial when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
They are not, okay with saying that they are still trying to figure things out, which is a lesson I've learned in life. It's like no matter how successful you are or how it looks on the outside, everyone is still figuring it out.
Exactly. We're still figuring it out. Exactly. Yeah.
So what are some steps, or would I say actions, you're taking to discover your purpose or uncover your purpose? Let me use that word. By the way, I like that word very much because I have just a little I have this thing against finding purpose. I don't think purpose is something you find because it feels like it's an external thing. Like your purpose is an external thing. But using the word uncover, I'm actually going to adopt that because I've been looking for the right word to to use. Well, uncover means it's something that it's in you and has been wrapped up by whatever it is, maybe societal expectations, parental expectations, and all that. Then you have to slowly, gradually uncover it for it to.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So back to the question, what are some of the steps?
Sometimes too, the universe has a way of just setting you in alignment with your purpose. So I think that's also the phase I am in. Like when I make my affirmations in the morning, I'm always like, I want to be set in alignment with my purpose, like what I should be doing. Because truth is, when it comes to okay, what are the steps you're taking to do this? There's no defined steps whatsoever to uncover it. It's just, I think it's life. Life just kind of brings to you what you're supposed to be doing. So it's always my prayer every day, that I'm set in alignment with my purpose. Another thing again is meeting people with higher level of consciousness, interacting with them often, building relationship with these people. It also opens up a certain channel in your life that helps you dig deep about yourself. From getting to learn more about, because for you to even discover purpose, you need to even learn more about yourself. Like me, I'm still learning about myself. I'm not even 80% done with knowing who I am. So it starts from there.
I love those answers. You're first of all affirming yourself and allowing the universe to put you in alignment with what it is you're supposed to do, and also having conversations with people that are of a higher consciousness than you are in. And in doing so, that rubs up on it's whatever, habits or traits or tools they are using would then rub off on you. That's actually steps you're taking.
Yeah.
Whether consciously or unconsciously. Well, yeah. Let me not ask you, I forgot to ask earlier, but when it comes to independent thinking, right? what is one, like, would I say, independent thought that you've taken that led you towards a unique path in your life? Like, if this was a decision you made for yourself, and maybe at the time it didn't seem significant, but in hindsight, it's turned out to be the right call. Let me put it that way.
Is it in line with purpose or in line with business?
However, it speaks to your heart. Just any situation whereby you made an independent thought, like you, you were faced with a decision and you made a decision from an independent perspective, and it led you down a path that was unique to you and maybe taught you some valuable lessons, and in hindsight it ended up being the right call.
So, like I said, when it comes to purpose, I'm still uncovering it. But the path that I'm on right now, see that people that get in contact with me and work with me, we do certain projects. They always say I have this aura. I have this thing of trying to find solutions to problems, especially when it comes to the business world. And sometimes I used to wonder if maybe that's my path, like just find solutions to problems. So, but in deciding, I can't place my finger on any major event that made me be on the path that I am right now. I can't tell. I just can't tell. But there's been a series of events that has helped me realize that I'm actually truly adding value to lives and businesses. And even though I'm still uncovering my purpose, this one that I'm doing right now needs something. So I can't pinpoint any major events. I can't.
Well, how was your, you mentioned earlier, but you just alluded to it, but I want you to speak on it particularly now. How is your perspective on life, maybe success or purpose or life in general? How is your perspective that you had about any of those topics changed over time?
Okay, my perspective about life has changed on a lot of things. First of all, is when it comes to personality, you don't lose yourself to be something you're not. So over time, we all have childhood traumas, and that has affected how we handle life issues, from business, relationships, marriages, finances, and all that. And I've also had my own fair share of childhood trauma that has really affected my adult life. So first of all, realizing that okay, there was a trauma is the first step, and then trying to heal from the trauma is another step. So from my perspective in life is we keep learning and unlearning. And me in particular, I've seen how much I've grown. I've been through a lot in this life, I will not lie, but it has shaped me. It has shaped me to be. People look at me, I'm like, I'm soft, I'm calm, but I feel like I'm one of the strongest women in the world because of what I've been through. So, but my perspective about life is that you just have to be you. You just have to find that thing that makes you uniquely you, and you don't have to bend yourself to accommodate anybody. You always find your flaws. You always find people that fit in better into your circle. So, and you have to work with people that share the same mindset, because if you with lots of people that their mindset is way different from you, they'll kind of rub off on you, and before you know it, you're no longer an independent thinker. You have to rely on them for certain decisions you make and all that. So the whole mindset thing too keeps evolving, and as one gets older with life experiences, more maturity kicks in. It's been a lot.
I like the fact that you say they are calm and quiet, but they don't know what is what is underneath this calm and quiet demeanor. I'm also of the opinion that it's people that actually, for me, a perspective that I've adopted over time is whenever I'm in a space, right, and I see someone that is calm and quiet and not talking too much, that's the person I usually want to have a conversation with, because I've come to learn that, it's people that like that tend to take more of the world, take more of their environment, and there's a lot going on in their head. That's why they are calm and quiet, you know, and
Yeah.
they end up being of having some substance, and I end up learning a lot from them. So initially, when I was younger, because I grew up a very shy kid, right, and I had to, develop into somewhat of an extrovert when it's needed.
Yeah, same here.
I used to I used to look up to people that were extroverted naturally and think that, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be, you know. But now that I have a different perspective of that. So let me ask. I know you've learned a lot. You've are still learning. But let's say you had like younger ones that are around you, and you had to give them advice. What kind of advice do you give them in regards to living purposefully, in regards to thinking for themselves, or maybe there's one of them that looks up to you and wants to follow the same path that you're going on. Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would advise that first of all, they spend quality time with themselves, get to discover themselves, and get to love themselves enough. And don't try to please people, because in pleasing people you lose yourself. And then, because I'm talking from experience, I grew up a people pleaser, and it's really dealt with me. So yeah, I grew up not being an independent thinker, so I have to just please people. I have to just follow, like, so that's my advice. Spend quality time with yourself, be an independent thinker. And in spending time with yourself, you realize that there are certain things about you that are actually unique to you. You explore your uniqueness, and you can from there start realizing what makes you special and how you can put yourself out there to show the world that you're truly special. So just spend quality time with you. You don't, because most times we feel like, oh, we have to spend quality time with someone else to make us feel special, or to teach us about ourselves. Or no, take yourself out on a date or have a one-on-one time, like for several hours in your room. Just get to know you, and also like define the kind of life that you want to live, and then take it one step at a time to discover and rediscover yourself and your purpose.
Let me just ask you a few fun questions. Um, I don't know why I use the word fun, but let's see. If you could describe your journey, your life journey, with a fruit or a song, what fruit do you pick and why? Or what song would you pick and why?
I don't like that. I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe pineapple.
Okay. Why pineapple?
Because I've really had very tough journeys, like the back of the pineapple. And I've had sweet experiences as well, like how sweet pineapples.
Okay. Okay. And there's a crown on top, right? To say that you're at the end of the day, you're still a queen in your own kingdom.
Yes.
All right. So imagine if your life was a book, right? What would this current chapter be called?
I'll call it healing.
He- Okay. And what would the book be called?
The Adventures of Nelly.
The Adventures of Nelly. Okay. When you write that book, please send me a copy, a signed copy. Now, if you could have a 1 hour conversation with an African figure, dead or alive, who would you want to have the conversation with?
Nelson Mandela.
Okay. Why?
That man is filled with so much wisdom. I want to tap.
Okay. Okay. All right. So imagine you had unlimited resources, right? To solve one of Africa's problem or Nigeria's problem. Which one would you pick and how would you go about solving it?
I don't think I can solve Nigeria's problem. I don't think I can.
Which one would you pick though? Like just say you had unlimited. Remember, you have unlimited resources to do so. Which one would you pick? Which problem would you pick and why?
Education.
Okay.
A lot of kids out there don't have access to quality education, and it's a problem. Yeah, and even the NGOs that are trying to bridge that gap, it's overwhelming for them. They can't. I think there was a statistics that said how many millions of children can't afford to go to school. It's a lot. I can't remember the figures exactly, but I think it's education that I would like to focus on.
And last of the fun questions is, supposing your life is a journey, right? What kind of vehicle are you traveling in? A vehicle could be car, plane, ship, train, whatever it is. What kind of vehicle are you traveling in? And what does that say about your approach to life?
It would be a saloon car.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's certain places that the car gets to, and it's quite tough to move, like rough road and all that. So it's kind of breaks down. You have to fix it, and then you have to continue. That's how I would describe my experience. Because I'm not flying. I've not. If I wasn't playing, maybe by now I'd have been a big celebrity. You know.
But I like that though. I like the answer because you said it could break down, but you fix it and you get back to the journey. And it goes in line with the fact that you're currently healing and you've been through a lot. So makes sense. It makes sense. So, okay. So then something I like to do is I like to ask the guest I have to give me a question they want me to ask the next guest. So I have a question for you from the previous guest. But before I ask that question, what question do you want me to ask the next guest I have on the show?
The question would be about childhood trauma. Okay. Do people really heal from childhood trauma, or they just find a way to manage it?
That's a good question. People really heal from, or they just find a way to manage it? Great question. The question from the previous guest, I know we'll just do this quickly, is what motivated you to have this conversation with me, to be on the show? Okay. Thank you. Now I'm going to walk around my day with a pip in my step. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This brings us to the end of the conversation as I planned. Thank you so much, Nelly, for your time. I know you gotta go, but please, before you go, just know that you can see me as a resource. If there's any way you think that I could be of help to what you're trying to do, or there are other ways that come up, please see me as a resource. Reach out and let me know, and I'll be able to help you. Again, thank you so much, Nelly. Do enjoy the rest of your day. And my regards to your son. I forgot to ask about him earlier. Hey guys, so there you have it. We've come to the end of the episode. I really hope you enjoyed listening to the conversation as much as I enjoyed having it with our guests. If that's true, Please go ahead and like the video, share your thoughts in the comments because we would love to hear what you think, and also share this with a friend. We believe one of the best ways this channel is going to grow is through word of mouth marketing or peer-to-peer sharing. So please go ahead and share this with someone who you feel would find it just as valuable as you did. And also subscribe to the channel, because why not? You want to be you want to stay in the loop for when we drop new content, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And last but not least, we've got some merch. I'm actually wearing one of our t-shirts with our slogan, Bet on Your Truth. So go ahead and head to our website. The link is in the description. While you're there, if the spirit leads you to cop one or two things, or maybe even more for yourself and your loved ones, please go ahead and do so. So that's it for now. I remain your host, Ebuka Wana. And until next time, I wish you more life, more love, more blessings.